Most people lose power without noticing. They give it away sentence by sentence, explanation by explanation, reaction by reaction. Stoicism is not about becoming cold or distant. It is about becoming deliberate. This series is a return to that discipline. Each chapter is a step away from noise and a step toward inner authority. Read slowly. Let the silence between the words do some of the work. Chapter 1. The Power of Silence. Silence is not emptiness. It is the disciplined refusal to waste your soul on noise that cannot repay you. The world trains you to speak quickly, defend constantly, and explain endlessly, as if your worth depends on being understood by everyone. Marcus Aurelius warned against this long before microphones and comment sections existed. He saw that the person who explains himself too much hands power to strangers. Silence, when chosen deliberately, is not weakness. It is authority in its most concentrated form. The Stoic path begins with control of attention. Whatever you feed with words grows larger. Arguments swell, insults linger, and foolish people multiply when you answer them. By remaining silent, you starve what seeks to feed on your reaction. This is not avoidance, it is strategy. A mind that does not rush to speak has time to judge, and a mind that judges well cannot be easily provoked. You reclaim your inner territory every time you refuse to react. Most people speak to relieve discomfort, not to communicate truth. They fill the air to escape their own unease. Stoicism asks you to endure that unease without flinching, to remain quiet while misunderstood, to allow others to project their confusion onto you without accepting it as your own. This is difficult because the ego craves correction. It wants applause, validation, and the final word. Silence denies the ego its favorite food. Marcus Aurelius wrote his thoughts as reminders, not speeches. He did not argue with the universe, he adjusted himself to it. In the same way, silence is an inward adjustment. You stop demanding that others see you clearly and start seeing yourself honestly. When you no longer need to be right out loud, you gain the freedom to be right in action. Results speak fluently without exhausting explanations. There is a quiet cruelty in over-explanation. It signals insecurity disguised as clarity. When you explain every move, you invite judgment on every detail. The Stoic does not submit his life to a jury of opinions. He chooses his judges carefully, if at all. Silence closes unnecessary courtrooms. It leaves no transcripts for critics to dissect. What cannot be quoted cannot be weaponized. Silence also sharpens perception. When your mouth is closed, your eyes open wider. You notice patterns, motives, and contradictions others miss because they are too busy performing. You hear what is said and what is avoided. Power belongs to the listener, not the loudest speaker. The one who gathers information quietly moves decisively later, while others are still debating. To be silent is not to be passive. It is to act without advertising. Nature itself is stoic. Seeds grow underground. Mountains rise without announcements. The sun does not explain why it burns. Strength that needs to be declared is already leaking. True confidence settles into stillness because it has nothing to prove. When you know who you are, explanation becomes optional. People will misinterpret your silence. They may call it arrogance, fear, or ignorance. Let them. Their interpretations reveal their limitations, not yours. You are not obligated to correct every misunderstanding. Some lessons are meant to be learned through distance. Silence allows others to confront their own assumptions without your interference. There is a sacred boundary created by restraint. When you stop explaining, you teach others how to treat you. You signal that access to your inner world is earned, not demanded. This boundary protects your energy, which is finite and precious. Stoicism is not about enduring everything. It is about choosing wisely what deserves endurance. The fool speaks to feel important. The wise remain silent to remain free. Freedom is the highest Stoic aim, and silence is one of its most reliable tools. Free from the need to impress. Free from reactive anger. Free from the endless cycle of justification. Each unspoken word is a small victory over chaos. Practice silence deliberately. Begin with minor irritations. Let comments pass without response. Let misunderstandings dissolve on their own. Observe how often things resolve without your intervention. You will notice a strange phenomenon. Respect grows in the absence of explanation. People lean in when you stop leaning out. This discipline does not remove your voice, it refines it. When you finally speak, your words carry weight because they are rare. They are measured, not impulsive. Silence is the forge that hardens speech. Without it, words are soft and easily bent by emotion. In the Stoic life, silence is preparation. It is the pause before action, the breath before decision. It is where judgment matures. Marcus Aurelius understood that mastery of self begins with restraint. If you cannot govern your tongue, you cannot govern your life. Chapter 1 is a vow, not a lesson. A vow to stop scattering your power through unnecessary speech. A vow to let actions do the heavy lifting. A vow to accept that not everyone needs an explanation and no one needs all of them. Silence is where dignity lives, and dignity is the quiet crown of the Stoic. Carry this vow into daily life and treat silence as training, not punishment. Each moment of restraint strengthens your command over impulse. You will feel the urge to explain rise like a wave, and you will let it pass without surrender. Over time, the wave weakens. What once demanded immediate expression becomes optional, then irrelevant. This is how character is built, quietly and repeatedly. No audience is required for inner victory. The Stoic understands that discipline practiced in private governs conduct in public. When chaos arrives, as it always does, you will not scramble for words. You will respond with calm action shaped by long, silent preparation. In this way, silence becomes more than absence. It becomes a presence, steady and immovable, shaping your life from within. It will outlast insults, confusion, and passing trends, leaving behind a reputation built on consistency, not commentary, and a mind that answers to reason rather than noise. This is the quiet reward few seek, but all need. Eventually. Chapter 2. Stop explaining yourself. Explanations feel harmless, even virtuous. You believe you are being clear, fair, reasonable. In reality, excessive explanation is often fear wearing polite clothing. Fear of being judged, fear of being disliked, fear of standing alone without approval. Stoicism demands that you see this habit clearly, without excuses. Every unnecessary explanation is a quiet confession that you do not yet trust your own choices. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that he did not need witnesses for a life well lived. The modern world disagrees. It pressures you to narrate every decision, justify every boundary, and defend every silence. But a life that requires constant justification is not being lived freely. It is being managed. The Stoic refuses to turn his existence into a press conference. When you explain yourself too much, you invite debate where none is required. You transform a decision into a discussion and authority into negotiation. People begin to believe they are entitled to an opinion because you offered them a rationale. Silence would have closed the door. Explanation leaves it ajar, and soon others are rearranging your furniture. There is also a hidden arrogance in over-explaining. It assumes that others are owed clarity about your inner world. They are not. Your reasons belong to you unless sharing them serves virtue or duty. Stoicism teaches economy, not only of possessions, but of words. Speak when speech improves the situation. Remain silent when it merely relieves your anxiety. The compulsion to explain is strongest when you are uncertain. You talk in circles hoping clarity will appear mid-sentence. It rarely does. Certainty is not created through explanation. It is revealed through action. Decide first, act second, explain last, if at all. This order preserves dignity. Reversing it destroys momentum. Consider how nature operates. Rivers do not explain their path. Storms do not justify their force. They act according to their nature, indifferent to interpretation. The Stoic seeks alignment with this principle. When your actions reflect your values, explanation becomes redundant. Those who understand will understand. Those who do not were never persuaded by words anyway. Over-explaining also weakens boundaries. A boundary defended with paragraphs is already eroding. You do not owe access to people who disrespect limits. Each additional sentence becomes a crack they exploit. A simple refusal, delivered calmly and without commentary, communicates strength far more effectively than a detailed defense. People who demand explanations often do so to gain leverage, not understanding. They collect your words to use them later, twisting context into accusation. Stoicism is realism. It recognizes human nature without resentment. By explaining less, you give manipulators nothing to hold. What is not spoken cannot be distorted. This does not mean becoming evasive or dishonest. It means being precise. Precision is the opposite of excess. Say what is necessary, then stop. Allow silence to complete the message. Many people are uncomfortable with this pause. Let them be. Discomfort is not an emergency. You are not required to soothe it. Notice how often explanations are requested, not for clarity but for control. A manager wants justification. A partner wants reassurance. A stranger wants validation. Stoicism asks a hard question. Does this request align with reason and virtue, or with insecurity and habit? Answering that question internally determines whether you speak. There is a moment after you stop explaining when anxiety spikes. The ego panics. It tells you that you are being rude, careless, or cold. Observe this reaction without obeying it. This is the same ego that once demanded applause for every effort. You are training it now, not indulging it. As you reduce explanations, something unexpected happens. Respect increases. People sense certainty even if they cannot articulate it. Your words gain gravity because they are no longer diluted. You become predictable in values, not verbose in defense. This is the Stoic ideal, to be understood through consistency, not commentary. Marcus Aurelius governed an empire, yet reminded himself daily to remain modest in speech. Power does not need decoration. The louder the justification, the weaker the position. This principle applies to leadership, relationships, and self-respect alike. Quiet confidence unsettles those who rely on noise. Stop explaining your emotions. Feel them, regulate them, act wisely despite them. Stop explaining your plans. Execute them. Stop explaining your boundaries. Enforce them. Explanation should follow accomplishment, not precede it. This sequence protects energy and sharpens resolve. You are not obligated to rescue others from confusion about you. Let them sit with it. Confusion often resolves itself when starved of reinforcement. Silence is that starvation. It forces others to confront their assumptions rather than outsourcing clarity to you. In Stoicism, freedom begins where compulsion ends. The compulsion to explain is one of the last chains to break. When you do, you step into a quieter, firmer version of yourself, a version that acts without apology and speaks without waste. This chapter is an instruction in restraint, not secrecy, not deception, but discipline. The discipline to let your life speak while your mouth rests. Explanation is easy. Silence requires strength. Choose strength again and again until it becomes natural. That is the Stoic way, unadorned and unshakable, built on reason rather than reaction, and carried forward without the burden of constant defense. Chapter 3. Mastering reactions. Post-suffering is not caused by events, but by the speed at which you react to them. Stoicism begins where reaction ends. Between stimulus and response lives choice, and choice is where freedom hides. When something irritates you, insults you, or disappoints you, the first impulse is to respond immediately. That impulse is not wisdom, it is habit. Marcus Aurelius trained himself to pause because he knew that whatever controls your reactions controls you. Mastery is not suppression, it is delay. Delay creates space, space creates judgment, judgment creates power. A reaction feels urgent, as if silence will cause damage. This is an illusion. Very few situations demand instant emotional output. Most benefit from restraint. When you react quickly, you borrow the mood of the moment and mistake it for truth. Anger feels justified. Defensiveness feels necessary. Fear feels informative. Stoicism strips these feelings of authority. Emotions are signals, not commands. They report conditions, but they do not decide actions. The Stoic listens without obeying. This is the difference between awareness and enslavement. Reactivity is exhausting because it keeps you in constant negotiation with the world. Every comment becomes a demand. Every inconvenience becomes a threat. Your nervous system never rests. Marcus Aurelius understood that peace is not found by controlling events, but by governing interpretation. When you stop reacting automatically, the world loses its power to throw you off balance. Events remain the same. Your experience of them changes completely. The pause is the Stoic's sharpest tool. It does not look impressive. No one applauds restraint. But in that pause, you reclaim authorship over your behavior. You ask a simple question: is this within my control? If not, reaction is wasted energy. If yes, reaction must be measured. This internal dialogue happens quietly and quickly with practice. Over time, the pause lengthens. You become harder to provoke, not because you are numb, but because you are deliberate. People often mistake calmness for indifference. They assume you do not care because you do not react theatrically. Let them misunderstand. Calm is not apathy. It is confidence in your ability to respond wisely later. The Stoic understands that timing matters. A delayed response is often more effective than an immediate one. Words spoken after reflection land deeper and cut cleaner, without collateral damage. Reactivity also feeds regret. Quick responses feel right in the moment and wrong forever after. You replay conversations wishing you had stayed silent. Stoicism aims to reduce these internal echoes. When you respond from reason instead of impulse, you rarely need to revisit the moment. Peace follows restraint. Regret follows indulgence. This pattern repeats relentlessly, yet most ignore it. The Stoic does not. Training reaction control begins with small irritations, traffic, delays, minor disrespect. These are the gym. Each time you choose not to react, you strengthen the muscle of restraint. At first, it feels unnatural. The urge to respond lingers. Stay with it. Urges crest and collapse like waves. You do not drown by refusing to swim in them. You learn they pass on their own. Marcus Aurelius wrote to remind himself that other people act according to their nature, not yours. Expecting them to behave differently is a recipe for frustration. When you internalize this, reactivity fades. You stop being surprised by foolishness, cruelty, or ignorance. Surprise fuels reaction. Acceptance dissolves it. Acceptance does not mean approval, it means clarity. There is power in being unreadable. When others cannot predict your reactions, they lose leverage. Manipulation depends on reliable triggers. The Stoic removes those triggers. Calm becomes armor. Silence becomes shield. You do not announce this transformation. You let it reveal itself through consistency. Over time, fewer people attempt to provoke you. The cost becomes too high. Reactivity shrinks perspective. Everything feels personal, immediate, and absolute. Stoicism restores scale. This moment is small. This insult is temporary. This discomfort will pass. When you widen the frame, urgency dissolves. You act with proportion. Proportion is the signature of wisdom. Excessive reaction is always disproportionate to reality. Mastering reactions does not make life dull. It makes it intentional. You laugh more genuinely because laughter is chosen, not nervous. You speak more clearly because words are considered. You act more decisively because energy is conserved. Reaction scatters power. Response concentrates it. The Stoic chooses concentration. This chapter is about reclaiming command, not over others but over yourself. When you no longer react blindly, you are no longer dragged by circumstance. You stand still while the world rushes past, choosing carefully when to move. That stillness is not weakness, it is readiness. And readiness is the quiet strength that defines the Stoic life. Chapter 4. Withdraw from the noise. Noise is not just sound. It is opinions you did not ask for, judgments that do not matter, and information that adds nothing to wisdom. The modern world is loud because distraction is profitable. Stoicism stands in direct opposition to this chaos. It teaches withdrawal not as escape, but as preservation. To withdraw from noise is to defend your mind from invasion. A mind under constant assault cannot think clearly, and a mind that cannot think clearly cannot live well. Most people believe they are informed when they are merely saturated. They consume endless commentary, arguments, outrage, and speculation. None of it improves their character. Much of it corrodes it. Marcus Aurelius warned against filling the mind with things that do not serve virtue. What you allow into your attention shapes your inner climate. Noise creates agitation. Agitation weakens judgment. Weak judgment leads to poor action. The chain is simple, and it is merciless. Withdrawing from noise begins with recognizing how little of it is necessary. Very few opinions deserve space in your head. Very few updates change how you should live today. The Stoic does not chase relevance, he chases clarity. He understands that most conversations are loops, not paths. They go nowhere while draining everything. Silence breaks the loop. There is pressure to participate, to comment, to react, to signal alignment or outrage. Refusing this pressure feels uncomfortable at first. You may feel invisible, disconnected, or behind. This discomfort is temporary. What replaces it is depth. Depth of thought, depth of presence, depth of self-knowledge. Noise offers stimulation. Withdrawal offers insight. One entertains, the other transforms. When you reduce noise, your internal voice becomes audible again. Many people have forgotten what they think because they are constantly listening to others. Stoicism is a return to internal authority. It does not reject learning or dialogue, but it rejects compulsive consumption. You choose when to engage. You choose when to step back. This choice restores sovereignty over attention. Noise also creates false urgency. Everything feels important when it is shouted. Everything feels like a crisis. Stoicism dissolves this illusion by restoring proportion. Most things can wait. Most issues resolve themselves. Most outrage fades. By stepping back, you see which matters endure and which evaporate. Calm reveals hierarchy. Noise destroys it. Withdrawing does not mean becoming uninformed or indifferent. It means becoming selective. You consume with intention, not habit. You read slowly. You listen carefully. You disengage early when something offers heat without light. This discernment is a skill built through practice. Each time you choose silence over stimulation, you reinforce it. There is also moral clarity in withdrawal. When you are not constantly absorbing others' anger, fear, or vanity, you stop inheriting emotions that are not yours. Many people believe they are anxious by nature. In reality, they are overstimulated. Quiet restores emotional boundaries. You feel what is actually happening in your life, not what is trending elsewhere. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the shortness of life. Time wasted on noise is time stolen from character. Every hour spent consuming empty chatter is an hour not spent improving judgment, strengthening discipline, or cultivating calm. Stoicism treats time as sacred because it cannot be recovered. Withdrawal is an act of respect toward your limited days. As noise fades, boredom may appear. This is not a problem. Boredom is the threshold of creativity and reflection. It is where deeper questions surface. Most people flee boredom immediately, numbing it with more noise. The Stoic stays. In boredom, you meet yourself without distraction. This meeting is uncomfortable, then clarifying, then empowering. Withdrawal also reveals how little you actually need. Many desires are manufactured by exposure. You want what you see repeatedly. When the exposure stops, so does the wanting. Simplicity follows naturally. Contentment grows quietly. Stoicism does not force minimalism. It allows it to emerge as a side effect of clarity. Others may not understand your withdrawal. They may interpret it as aloofness or judgment. Let them. You are not withdrawing from people, but from chaos. Those who value depth will find you. Those addicted to noise will drift away. This is not loss. It is alignment. To withdraw from noise is to choose your inner weather. Calm becomes the default rather than the exception. Decisions become cleaner. Reactions soften. You stop living at the edge of distraction and return to the center of yourself. This is where Stoicism does its quiet work. This chapter is an invitation to step back without guilt, to turn down the volume without explanation, to protect your mind as you would protect your body. Noise is endless. Your attention is not. Withdraw wisely, and what remains will be enough. Chapter 5. Become unshakable. To be unshakable is not to be untouched by life, but to remain upright while it moves through you. Stoicism never promised comfort. It promised stability. Most people confuse stability with control, but control is fragile. It depends on circumstances behaving. Stability comes from within. It does not negotiate with chaos. It stands regardless of it. Marcus Aurelius understood that a man who governs himself cannot be overthrown by events. Unshakeability begins with attachment. You cling to outcomes, approval, comfort, reputation. When these are threatened, your inner balance collapses. The Stoic loosens this grip deliberately, not because outcomes do not matter, but because obsession poisons judgment. You do your best, then release the rest. What follows is steadiness. When nothing external owns you, nothing external can destabilize you. Life will test this relentlessly. Plans fail, people disappoint, effort goes unrewarded. These moments reveal whether your calm was borrowed or built. Borrowed calm disappears at the first inconvenience. Built calm endures. It is constructed through repeated acts of restraint, acceptance, and reason. Each difficulty becomes material. Each challenge strengthens the structure. Being unshakable requires clarity about what is and is not within your control. This distinction is the backbone of Stoicism. Your actions are yours. Your intentions are yours. Your character is yours. Outcomes are not. Opinions are not. Luck is not. When you stop demanding control over what was never yours, anxiety loses its foundation. Peace replaces it, not because life is easy, but because expectations are accurate. People often think emotional strength means suppressing feeling. Stoicism rejects this. You feel fully, but you do not surrender authority to emotion. Anger arises, but it does not steer. Fear appears, but it does not command. Sadness visits, but it does not reside permanently. Emotions are weather. Character is climate. An unshakable person knows the difference. The world constantly invites overreaction. Headlines exaggerate, voices escalate, conflicts polarize. Stoicism responds with proportion. Not everything is urgent, not everything is catastrophic. When you refuse exaggeration, you preserve equilibrium. This refusal is quiet, internal, and powerful. It keeps you from being dragged into storms that were never yours to fight. Unshakeability is also social. People test boundaries, consciously or not. They provoke, pressure, and persuade. The unshakable person does not harden, but he does not bend easily. He listens without absorbing. He considers without conceding. His values are not up for auction. This consistency creates trust even among those who disagree. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that criticism cannot harm character unless accepted. Insults require your participation to land. When you stop internalizing others' projections, you become lighter. Opinions pass through without sticking. Praise no longer intoxicates. Blame no longer poisons. You remain centered, guided by reason rather than reaction. Building this state takes time. You will wobble. Old habits resurface under pressure. Do not interpret this as failure. Training is not linear. Each recovery strengthens resilience. Each return to calm reinforces the path. Stoicism is practiced, not perfected. Progress is measured in recovery speed, not immunity to disturbance. There is humility in being unshakable. You stop dramatizing your role in events. You accept that the world does not revolve around your comfort. This acceptance is freeing. When you are no longer the center of every outcome, disappointment shrinks. Gratitude grows quietly. You appreciate what is present rather than resenting what is absent. An unshakable life is simple, not because it lacks complexity, but because it lacks unnecessary resistance. You meet reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. This meeting requires courage. Illusions are comforting. Reality is grounding. Stoicism chooses grounding over comfort, again and again. This chapter is a reminder that strength is internal architecture. It is built when no one is watching, reinforced through daily restraint and revealed under pressure. When the ground shifts, you remain. When storms rise, you hold. Not rigid, not brittle, but rooted. This is unshakability, earned through reason, patience, and disciplined acceptance. Chapter 6. Live quietly, die whole. There comes a point in the Stoic path where striving softens into alignment. You are no longer trying to prove strength. You are living it, quietly. This is the final discipline, to live without spectacle and to face the end without regret. Marcus Aurelius wrote constantly about death, not from darkness but from clarity. When you understand that life is short, you stop wasting it on noise, vanity, and performance. You begin to live whole. Living quietly does not mean living small, it means living intentionally. You stop broadcasting your values and start embodying them. You stop narrating your growth and start practicing it. The quiet life is not empty, it is concentrated. Energy once spent on appearances is redirected toward character. This redirection changes everything. Most people are exhausted because they are acting all the time. Acting confident, acting successful, acting happy. Stoicism strips away the performance. It asks one brutal question. If no one were watching, how would you live? The quiet life is the answer. It is what remains when the audience leaves. What you do then defines you far more than anything done for applause. There is dignity in obscurity. Seeds grow unseen. Foundations are buried. The Stoic understands that what matters most rarely announces itself. By choosing quiet, you allow substance to replace image. Your life gains weight. Your words gain credibility because they are no longer frequent. Your presence becomes steady rather than loud. Living quietly also refines desire. You stop chasing excess and start valuing sufficiency. Enough sleep, enough work, enough connection, enough purpose. This sense of enough is rare and powerful. It shields you from endless wanting. When desires are modest, peace is durable. You are not constantly negotiating with dissatisfaction. Death gives urgency to this discipline. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that every action could be the last. This was not meant to induce fear, but precision. If today were final, would this argument matter? Would this resentment be worth carrying? Would this distraction deserve attention? Death simplifies priorities brutally and honestly. To die whole means leaving nothing essential undone internally. Not achieving every goal, but resolving inner conflicts. Making peace with effort, regardless of outcome. Acting according to values even when results disappoint. Wholeness is internal closure. It is knowing you lived in alignment, not in postponement. Many postpone life. They wait for permission, conditions, or recognition. Stoicism rejects this delay. You live now as you are with what is available. You do not rehearse endlessly. You act quietly, consistently. This removes the anxiety of waiting and replaces it with the calm of participation. Living quietly also means forgiving faster. Holding grudges is loud inside the mind. It consumes attention long after the event has passed. The Stoic forgives not because others deserve it, but because peace does. Letting go is an act of self-respect. It clears space for what matters. As you age, this quiet becomes more natural. You speak less because you see more. You react less because you understand patterns. You want less because you recognize sufficiency. This is not withdrawal from life, but deeper engagement with its essentials. You are present rather than performative. To die whole is to meet the end without bargaining. No desperate need for more time to become who you avoided being. No regret over words never spoken or actions never taken out of fear. You may not control the length of life, but you control its integrity. Stoicism places this responsibility squarely in your hands. The quiet life is not rewarded loudly. It does not trend. It does not impress crowds, but it produces something rarer than admiration: inner continuity. You are the same person alone as you are in public. This unity is strength. Fragmentation is weakness. Most suffer not from hardship, but from living divided. This final chapter is not an ending, but a posture. Live in a way that requires no defense, no explanation, no audience. Let your days be modest and your principles firm. When the end comes, meet it as Marcus Aurelius hoped to meet his own. Without complaint, without fear, and without unfinished business inside the soul. To live quietly and die whole is the ultimate Stoic victory. Not over others, over illusion, over distraction, over the urge to postpone being fully human. What remains is enough.